Right, welcome back to more knowledges and continuing this Burlesque thing that we've been looking at. Now, I'm not even sure what number I'm up to now, like about 6 or something, or 5 maybe, I don't know. But based on the Diana Weaver's knowledge. And the last one I was just starting to look at the the cross-dressing idea in the entertainments, right? As you can see there, these are, that's Charles Hawtrey, right? Charles Hawtrey, and as I was talking about in the last one, the tree is a very important idea for them because it basically symbolises like a metaphor for the trans, for hiding in the tree or the skies, right? So before there was any type of scientific stuff, right, you had a tree. So the tree would be used as a metaphor for the trans, right? And that's no doubt how it got its name, the tree, because it's the TR and then the EE. So someone named it the tree. Some trans named it the tree, basically, right? That's how it got its name in that. And as you see here, a load of transes and that, doing the cross-dressing and all that, Obviously, the rich history of it, dating right back. As we've seen that other video in that. Rich history of trans, you know what I mean? Can't read back. But I didn't see it before, right, but I've seen it now that the burlesque, right, becomes the burnt lesbian idea again, right? Like the the burnt les idea, right? So in other words, they changed into they changed genders and all this type of idea, the burn idea and the les, right? Or the salt, which is the Lot's wife, Pillar's idea. So obviously, like the origins of it was supposed women imitating men, right? Which would be that idea, right? Like what do you call? Like Charles, like Prince Charles. Same idea. The woman imitating the man, the les, right? But obviously, at this point now, they're not so much into the male impersonation idea at least in the entertainment business. It's more about the male impersonating the woman now. As all these ones will be teaching us, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about now, say the burlesque type of thing, right? So all these will be teased, like have a rib removed or something. The rib and the rub type of thing. Right? The rib and rub. The Burlesque's got the rib in it, see? Like the India Jane Burlesque has got the rib in it. And obviously that's to do with something with the Bible where they took a rib from Adam or something and made Eve or something like that anyway, right? Adam's rib, the Bible study by T-Race Ballin. So obviously this is trans metaphor stuff again, this Adam's rib idea. And you got the rib and the Burlesque, right? Creation in the human body. Creating MTFT drinkers, see, take the rib out. Gives them the sort of womanly hips or waistline or whatever. I think this was specifically something they'd done in the earlier part, like maybe like 50s or whatever, to create that type of look. I don't think a lot of the tea drinkers you get now are basically, look like blokes anyway. You know what I mean? When they're walking around and that. Just look like blokes anyway, don't they? And there's T-Racy. Oh, there's Spencer T-Racy with the Adam's rib and the hip. Burn. Again, like the burlesque and the burlesque, right? The burn. the burnt les, right? And the 7, the hep. So Adam's rib. So of course you know what this is about. Proper tea drinker stuff, right? Adam's rib. Transgender at its core, well, of course, you know what I mean? Well, certain ones are, aren't they, see? Certain ones are like. There's the burley with the rib. The layer. Burley. Mark Burley for men. And a few different variations of it type of thing. Burley. Obviously a lot of burley about. Burley clubs. Like a bit like the burlesque. The lay and the lesque. Les. Type of les ideas, right? For men. For les men. Right? You know what Burl Ives, right? Was he like a big actor in the sort of 50s or something like that. He used to sing and play guitar and all. Glenn Campbell and Burl Ives. Obviously a bit of les in that one as well, like. Now you've got a bit of les there. Got 2 pillars there. And there the burl and the brew, like the iron brew type of thing and all, like. And the ruby. And iron ickle, so the ictine. As you can see there, gone a long time from almost all that century. There's a lot of things in that. It's obviously one of the type of burlesque, male impersonators, really. See what I mean? Male impersonator. The Silver Buffalo Award. It's very Masonic, eh? Of course, buffalo are very similar to the cow in terms of this stuff. You know what I mean? They use the buffalo in the same way they use the cow in more like the European place, see? Of course, a bit of black and white. And then Newton and Levi, Frank Ives. And there you go. Member of the Charleston chapter of the Order of Demolier. And listed in the Demolier Hall of Fame. Initiated in the Scottish Rite Freemasonry 27. Elevated to the 33rd highest degree. And later elected the Grand Cross. So you know what I mean? No doubt about it. He was a male impersonator, alright. Foggy Dew. The Franklin, the Free. and lavender blue. Going back to the Charles Hawtrey read. The burnt les idea read. And very much involved in the same all the same stuff, performing all that, theatre director. Right? And the tree, basically the tree idea read. And the tree is basically you see make like the three and also the tree, right? And as I say, the tree is like a metaphor for the trances, right? Basically to do with the royal oak, right? The royal oak tree. Of course, this is a simple metaphor, right? Because to escape, hid, right? Hid. Like the Hyde Park and the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? To escape, the Roundheads. I think Roundheads is a bit of code, like personally, because like it's like guess what got a round head? If you're not circumcised, type of thing, right? And remember, there's different levels of circumcision, right? But if you're not circumcised, you got a round head, type of thing, right? The Francis again, right? And it's a simple metaphor for trans because you're hiding in the tree, right? And see your enemies on the ground, they've gone past on horseback or something, and they've gone past, see? You hit up a tree looking at them, see? You hit up in the branches and that, see? So that's why it becomes just this very simple metaphor for transes. They're hiding inside this tree, right? The royal oak. Very simple type of metaphor for what it is, right? Type of idea, right? You're in the tree of life. So again, sticking with a simple metaphor, right? The tree of life, very popular idea, right? And the tree of life is used in everything gone. The religion, mythology, biology is a metaphor, right? So basically it's a metaphor for transes. This tree of life idea, right? Because as I say, you can hide in the branches and that. So when you have a tree, it's a trans 33, right? The tree of life. Love things like the Tree race course, like, because obviously the horse race and the sport of kings and that, they love the horse race and all this. You got Ian Tree. Your life Kabbalah, right? Kabbalists. Right? So this is obviously trans stuff, this Kabbalah. Right? End of like, innit? Yeah. It's trans stuff. Because it's it's been based on the tree idea, the metaphor for transes, hiding in the tree. So all this stuff, you know what I mean? Of course, like I was going on about how you can study this stuff and learn about it and all that. Like that Madonna and stuff like that was supposed to be, studying it. And of course, it's a trans metaphor, see? The tree of life. Universe came into being. The trans came into being, right? Esoteric teachings. The infinite and the mortal. Of course, the infinite's the trans, and the mortal is the natural person, right? The strange case, right? There's the trans code of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Of course, all about drinking potions, concocting potions and having them and all that, so it's another trans metaphor, right? Just like Beauty and the Beast idea and all that. That's a trans metaphor, isn't it? One of the phrases in it's cut the devil out, right? As you can see, he wants to bring out his second nature and transform him. So it's a trans metaphor, total trans metaphor, right? The scientist.